sunny.
Yeah.
So it was quicker. So you felt better. Yeah, it was a close one. It was definitely a close one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fondest memory or the biggest highlight I have of that year is not tennis related. Is actually Stan's attire. I mean, you remember his shorts the year he won?
Yeah, they were horrific, weren't they?
My God, Stan, if you're watching this, I hope you burned those shorts.
No, they weren't good.
No, but I think he made a really cool joke out of it. Like he made it like a symbol of his whole tournament and of his whole win. It's like a lucky charm.
Yeah. For sure. He just put a comment with the middle finger up.
Oh, there he is.
On the thing.
Stan the man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, man. Well, anyway.
Right, I need to ask you this. We've got like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you a question about the GOAT of tennis, because it's something that obviously, like I hear about it all of the time, like in the media. I think I would talk about it like with my friends and like other tennis players and stuff, that it's something that people are like, really really interested in. I just wanted to know what your take on it is, because I've got some thoughts on it, not necessarily about who the best is, but like how do you ever judge it? Like, what's important to you? Like, what is the most important record in the discussion? What would you say is the most important thing?
Very good question. I think it's combination of I guess slams, I guess the weeks at number one, and obviously the Masters, right? The 1,000 events. But I think we all agree.
What about head to head? What about
and the head to head? Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. I think Grand Slams would probably stand out, but it's really hard to say. Even though I personally am very fortunate that I'm in the conversation, of course, and I'm honored. But at the same time, it's hard to really say greatest of all time. Taking the amount of slams you won or tournaments you won or whatever, because I've said this to everybody. I've had this opinion since forever. I don't go into the conversation of comparing generations. I really can't compare.
I completely agree with that. But in reality, all three of the best players are playing in the same generation, and I think that's why it's because I agree completely. I'm sure Borg would have been amazing in this era, and Rafa would have played amazing in Connor's McEnroe time for sure. But the thing that is special about just now is that you have three guys that are playing at the same time, so you can compare them, because you have. I wrote it down, like that you've played 55 times against Rafa and you played 50 times against Roger, and Novak, Roger and Rafa have played 40 times. So you have that many matches between the best players in the biggest tournament. So you don't have to compare the generations. And I think that the best three players are playing just now, but
true.
It's so difficult to, I guess it's difficult to judge it, and obviously we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So we don't know what everyone is going to finish on slam wise and how many matches everyone will have played and won against each other and stuff. But I think also in this conversation, which is maybe different to other sports, is because we have the different surfaces, is that to me right now, you have Rafa's record on clay, nobody competes with. Roger's currently record at Wimbledon is the best, and your record on hard courts is the best. So because we have these different surfaces, it's kind of difficult. And when people ask me, like, what's your toughest match, like, that you would play, like, in your career, who are the hardest guys to play against, I would be like, well, I feel like I'm competing against the best hardcourt player ever. I've competed against the best clay court player ever and the best grass court player ever. So for me currently right now, it depends on the surface.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously I can't say much more than I already said, because obviously for me it's hard to really talk about this, even though of course, I'm in the midst of it, and I do, speak with my team, with my friends about it, and it's interesting to hear how, there are people obviously that are close to me are biased, and they're, they're obviously leaning towards me, and then of course, people that support Roger, support Rafa, and which is normal. But I think it's just. I think it's good for tennis that we have this kind of conversation, and that we all are competing at the same time, and it's really amazing. And I think we all are not really conscious of all these results, achievements, I would say the proportions or the depth of the conversation in the world of sport. I don't think we are conscious because we're still in the storm, in a way, if you understand what I'm saying. It's like you're still competing. It's hard. I think only when I'm finished with my career that I can step back and observe things from more neutral standpoint, where I can say, okay, this is my opinion about this, and that. But for now, what you have said, that you have like three guys that are dominating on three different surfaces, I think that is what I would agree 100%, and that's all there is right now. What the future brings, for our rivalries, for our sport in general, I don't know. Obviously, we are also not that young anymore. I mean, you have guys like Dominic Thiem and Tsitsipas and Zverev. These guys, I think they're maturing so quickly, and they're ready. I mean, they're ready to get the Grand Slam titles, and they're very close. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to slams, I think it seems like we, including yourself, and the guy who is also following this, Stan, it's like you turn. You turn to another gear, you know what I mean? Like it's because I think every next slam that keeps on coming, I feel even more comfortable playing it, and I feel like there is always even a bigger mental or emotional edge over the young guys coming in, because you've played so many times, you have the experience, you're good, you feel good in your own skin. It's really hard that anything really surprises you. So you're ready.
No, I would have said, like, for me, and from my perspective, like, going into a slam, I always felt different, like, in terms of how I felt mentally and my focus, concentration, everything. Like, ideally you want to have it throughout the whole year in every single match, but the slams always, for me, I don't know, like, I feel like I played my best tennis in them. I don't know why, but always, like, the few days before they start, I go to a different place than maybe before the other events.
The beast mode. Well, I think because we most of the players grow up dreaming to win one of the slams and being number one of the world. I think those are the two biggest achievements that you can possibly have in professional tennis. And I think because of the importance that we give to our dreams, because the dreams are there to also inspire us and motivate us, that's why I think the slams are always kind of bringing the best out of us.
It's been nice, like, I've got to see my kids, like, do things for the first time that usually when we're away traveling and stuff, like, you miss. Like, I saw my kids going out cycling on their own for the first time and swimming on their own for the first time and stuff like that. So it's actually been nice to see lots of those things. But trying to teach them stuff is difficult. It's not easy. You don't always want to listen to their parents. So that's been challenging.
So who is